So it is timed by emotional charges, which means that the time of death, right? Cause of death, cause and time of death is in you now. Get it? Hmm? So if we can rewind and browse through our charges, emotional charges, we can find out the time of death, and also we can find out the reason of death. Now, the beauty is that when we do homework, when we find out, it it will be burnt, means you will not have to face that event, because we go and burn the future up, right? So because let's say you have some reason, okay, let's say you have a kidney problem. So if you have a kidney problem, the kidney problem also is caused by emotions. And then if you project 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, I don't know how many, we will see that maybe you have some problem with your kidneys. And then we browse the future and find out what's the problem upcoming. And the upcoming problem, we will know that it is emotional charges, right? And then we follow the emotional charge releasing method. You remember how that is done? See, I'm also saying here, future exists in your system now, right? I'm already saying, right? So disease also exists in your system right now. Hmm? So, okay, I'm going to go a little bit into the experiencing, and then we do a small contemplation. Okay. So how do we so we this means that we can prevent, we can browse, we can see the future, and then burn the emotion now. Okay. So let's say future, I don't know how long, however it is, like near or far, and then burn the emotion now, and then we win that for that particular reason. Victory over death. Right. So uh, this is the way. But how do you burn this problem? Right? Emotional charge burning. So we, of course, we have discussed it before, but let me just say it again. See, if you learn this properly, you do not have any fear in you. You do not need to have, because now you know how to control your future, right? So emotions occur during a particular event at a moment. And they occur as a shock. Hmm? Emotion emotion occur as a shock, therefore it is physical. So it is not really a mental only thing, right? Emotions originate out of shock, right? And shock happens in a moment, right? In a given memory, right? Happens moment, 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 and has a memory, right? So remember, we have learned before, charge equal to memory plus emotion, right? Past emotion. Hmm? So if we can this release the past emotion, so memory minus past emotion equal to no charge, right? So no charge means no karma. Karma. No karma means no disease, disease or death. Okay. So here we have to know that we have to know how to burn these emotions, right? So this is emotional burning process, right? Now this will be the same for the webinar also. If you learn this one, you can actually do the mental healing process also then the same way. Okay. Right. So I'm going to draw the arrows later. Hmm. So this is how you this is what we do during the Homa process, right? So now we're going to go through the same from here, we're going to go through the same previous burning process, right? The ancestor liberation and so on. We will reach that later on. Hmm. Now it has to be noted that there are some whether preconditions to see the past, because even the future, because if you are not matured enough to see the negative future, you won't be able to see this. Hmm? Means sometimes, let's say a person, had cases where I showed a person future death of himself and his parents, and then I showed him to liberate the feeling, but then he kept on started shivering, and he lived for a long time with that fear, and then he empowered it up more. See, so because if you have fear, if you see the future and if you have fear, you have more emotions, right? What is more fear? More fear is more karma, right? So if you have fear out of that, you cannot see. That is why in contemplation many times you cannot see, because you say no. I'll say now, keep your eyes closed and now see the future. Now see the past. You cannot see it because the divine will not show you, because you're not emotionally mature to see it. One reason. Second reason is you're not having the health, physical health to handle it, or mental health. So if you do not have the physical health, or if you do not have the mental health, if you do not have the energy health also, because it's very high power energy will come, and it be like an explosion in you, like implosion. Hmm? Sometimes you have to scream out, sometimes you have to roar. Emotional release is kind of how does it mad stuff. Hmm? Really, your body can be thrown out and all this. So you're not in a position to do such deep emotional releases at your home unless you're alone and you have space and no one can hear you, so on, right? So that's one of the reasons, again, you do not see, and you may not release also, right? Because your system, you're not ready for it. If you're not doing yoga, then your body won't be ready. If you're not doing breath work, breathing work, your body is not ready. If you're not having the right belief system about the system, about the whole system we're speaking about, means you do hear, but you do not believe in the process, or in the divine who's running the process, or your guru who is with you, then also this process will be slowed down, or maybe for a long period of time you won't be able to see. right? But the beauty is that I'm doing it here for you. So even if you don't see this, now that I'm scanning this one, we will see. Okay, we will see this. Now, when we see it, of course, we will check your memory and past emotion. Definitely, your emotions are connected to, remember, your mother and father, right? And your father and mother also will get at least one life, at least, right? At least one time means maybe they were about to die, let's say 95, it's the best case. Then they will get a life, means after 95, they can maybe live for another few years. That is life, like just like we play game, right? So today they're going to get one life. That is for sure. How many lives depends on how deep you go, right? One we will give this life. Scanning through this life, the current biological mother and father, we will give one life, right? And then you will get also one life. And that's how you're going to do today. And then we go into the Purnahudi, and then the same process, like every time we explain. So many times we explained this in the previous videos. We will follow till liberation. Mm. So this is the procedure. Okay, so let me just quickly review. You're born out of divine, and you're dying out of the abode into this body, and we call it death. Okay, but we can also say, no, we call it birth, but we can also say it is death, right? Now, leaving the body is not so bad. Leaving the body out of emotional charge, out of karma, you will get another body only. You won't be able to be released into the divine abode, right? Because karma is eating you. But leaving the body out of samadhi, enlightenment, conscious conscious death, that we will discuss later on. Hmm? But right now we are just going to get liberated from liberation from death, which is nothing but Mrityunjaya, and that's what we're going to do. So now we're going to do scanning of this. Now, when we do this scanning and when we do this process, automatically you will have effects in your life happening. So, but we don't need to worry about it, right? So you're going to get offloaded because all fears are nothing but fear of death, right? So fear of death, that is the key teaching, right? Fear of death is equal to father of all fears. All fears, right? You may think you have fear of, I don't know, fear of travel, fear of catastrophes, fear of future, fear of disease, fear of people, fear of rats, fear of mice, fear of lizards, fear of insects, whatever it is, right? Fear of spouse, fear of mother-in-law, whatever you have, right? Or fear of politicians, fear of war, anything that you see in this world originates from your personal fear of death. Hmm? So that is another relief that happens. So when you release fear of death, you will be released from all kinds of fears inside you. Means you will move into courage. So you will have some sense of courage later on after the homa. And that time when you move into courage, you go into you're out of karma and you start visualizing the future, beautiful future. Okay. So that's the process. Okay. So now, do you have any questions within this?